The LDN 2017 conference held in Portland, Oregon, 22nd to the 24th of September, was a huge success and the feedback has been excellent. If you aren't able to join us, you can purchase the 3-day live stream recordings for just $80, or the 3 days plus 15 and a half hours of recorded presentations, including all the PowerPoints, for $365. All recordings are available for 12 months. CE credits are available for NDs only. For full information, go to www.ldn2017.com. Today my guest is Jenny from the United States, who takes LDN for a variety of things. She has ulcerative colitis, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, and LDN has also helped with other neurological autoimmune conditions. Thank you for joining us today, Jenny.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell us when you first noticed there was something wrong?
You know, I've been having sort of some unusual kinds of symptoms for about 3 years. I had my second child, and I guess she was about 6 months old. I started having some sort of strange visual things where I would see flashes of light or auras or something like that. And eventually that got diagnosed as ocular migraines. That was really the very first thing. I also noticed I was having some energy issues. I already had a gluten intolerance, but I was starting to have a little bit more ramping up of maybe some sensitivities to foods and things. But it was last June when I started to have some more serious symptoms that needed to be addressed. And mostly I was having blood in my stool, and I was having extreme reactions to food, where I would have a really hard time if I ate certain foods, with fatigue and mood drops, and the eyes, they called it ocular migraines, but whatever it is, the visual kinds of unfocused eye issue kind of coming in more and more frequently.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So where did you go from there? Did you consult with somebody?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, luckily, I had read an article about low-dose naltrexone, and because of the earlier symptoms I had, I had already sort of been on the lookout for maybe some autoimmune problems for myself or something like that. And I ran across an article about low-dose naltrexone, and I kind of filed it away. And so that was actually one of the first things I did. I went on an autoimmune paleo diet, and that helped enough. That helped me get through. It stopped the bleeding. But I was still really struggling to function day to day. And so I went and I found a holistic doctor who I thought would probably prescribe LDN. And at first she said no. But I said, just read the research. It's just beginning research, but it's pretty outstanding. And I've heard really great anecdotal things. And I think it really might help with this problem I'm having. And as we did some blood tests and stuff, we also discovered the Hashimoto's and the Graves', which I had suspected but didn't know for sure. So she called me a few weeks later, and she said, you know what, I want you on low-dose naltrexone right away. I already called it into a compounding pharmacy. So, get on it. And so I did.
Yeah. So before you started LDN, on a score of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, what would you have said your quality of life was?
So that last couple of months before I got the LDN, but after I started getting really bad, so it was June, till about, I guess around November, it was maybe around a 4. I'm really lucky. I have a wonderful family. I have a wonderful husband and children. So, and community and support, so that things were easier than they could have been, and I was happier than I could have been. But in terms of how well I was functioning, it was probably a 4 out of 10, and sinking quickly.
Okay. So when you first started LDN, did you experience any initial side effects or anything like that?
They had I had heard about the insomnia and some vivid dreaming. I think I did have 1 or 2 nights of vivid dreaming, and that was it. That's all I had.
Okay. And what dose did you start on?
I started on 1.5.
And how quickly did you titrate it up?
Yeah, every 2 weeks I did another 1.5.
Okay. So you on 4.5 now?
Yes.
Yeah. And how long have you been on the 4.5?
So I actually worked out that I got to 4.5 pretty much on January 1st. And that was also the moment at which my ulcerative colitis just went into remission completely.
Wow.
It didn't really work much for the ulcerative colitis before that. It worked for the thyroid sorts of fatigue issues and the visual issues, but it didn't work for the ulcerative colitis until that day. And then it was noticeably different. So I've been on since January 1st of this year, 2017.
And if people are listening to this in years to come, this is now October. So you've been on LDN for about 10 months?
Yep.
Okay. So what would you say LDN has done to help you?
It's been just spectacular. Like I said, I mean, and maybe I didn't get all the way into it. My toddler is walking in and out. I'm sorry. Let me see. On and off a second. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So the question was, what has it done for me?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just been amazing. So let's see. Immediately, the ulcerative colitis went into remission. I stopped bleeding as long as I don't have dairy or gluten. I found out I can't have dairy. And what was so spectacular about this is that I am very nutritionally focused and health focused already. That's why I knew about low-dose naltrexone. So I had tried I guess it was about 6 months before I got onto the full dose of naltrexone, before everything happened that needed to happen so that I could be prescribed it and start titrating up. And in that time, like I said, I did an autoimmune diet, which was helpful, but didn't see that much. I tried a number of supplements. I tried all sorts of things that I had already read about. I tried what my functional medicine doctor was suggesting. And so all these things sort of helped, and they made me be able to continue on and function. But when I took LDN, it's like things it was totally different. It was the first thing that actually stopped. It seemed to stop the autoimmunity in its tracks. So not only did my numbers improve and go into remission levels for Hashimoto's and Graves', but like I said, the multiple food sensitivity just stopped, except I still can't have dairy. Maybe one day I can, but not right now yet. And I stopped having fatigue. And all the visual stuff, that the ocular migraines is what they said it is. I don't know what it is, but all of that stopped when I started taking low-dose naltrexone, and that had been going on for years at that point. And my energy levels improved. My mood improved, because that was part of what I was experiencing too, is when I ate a food that I was reacting to, and I was reacting to many, 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 many foods. So I was on a very, very limited diet of what I could eat. And then I would have to rotate it because I would become sensitive to foods after I ate them for a while. And this was showing up on allergy tests as well, but I could feel it. And my mood would get depressed just from the food reaction, just for a few hours or maybe half a day. And I knew it was just the food, but it's hard to deal with. And that stopped So it's been amazing, and it's just it has no side effects for me.
And just to tell the listeners, how many children do you have, and what are their ages?
I have an almost 2-year-old, just turned 4-year-old, and a 6.5-year-old. I stay at home with them, and I also homeschool. And then my husband, I mean, I'm sure this is part of what's sort of going on with these autoimmune conditions for me. My husband works full time and then is in law school at night. He's almost done. This is his last year. So I've been pretty much, and we don't have any family near us, so I've been pretty much single-handedly managing these little ones. We had one of the babies during law school. We started the law school with another baby. So it's been a lot. But even with all that going on, the LDN worked miracles, really.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure even for a healthy person looking after 3 very young children, and all of them running around, is very demanding, isn't it? It is really demanding.
It absolutely is.
Yes. I mean, they're a joy, but it is quite full on and tiring, and you have to be on the watch all the time to see what they're doing. So
that's what it is. It's the constant on. You have to be constantly alert.
You can't turn off, can you, and just sit down and relax?
No.
You've got to be ready to jump.
No, and they're just wonderful, but you got to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say your score would be on the score of 1 to 10 now?
I'd say a 9. I'm almost fully functional, and I think if, when my husband's done with school, I think I will be totally back. In fact, better, maybe even better, because I had those ocular things going on before that now I don't have. So I'm just waiting to see what life will be like when I have a little bit more help from my husband.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, I'm doing amazing. It's better than before I knew I had trouble, that I knew I had a problem.
Mm-hmm. And how long would you say you took LDN for before you feel that you're at the stage you are now? Did it all happen in January, or did it take a few months for different things?
Yeah, it continued. So I think I did notice an improvement in my numbers, even for the thyroid, Hashimoto's, and Graves, even when I was just on small levels, small dose, 1.5 milligrams, even on those first few weeks. But and then I did notice a complete difference when I got to that 4.5 dose almost the day of. However, it took, I think for the first 3 months, I was just sort of slowly able to add back food after food after food. But I had to do it slowly. And if I moved too quickly, then I did have a reaction. And then I think it really took 6 months, I would say probably June, till I felt like I was better than normal. I felt like I had been prior to all of this. And I had expected 3 months, but I was surprised to continue to see benefit beyond the first 3 months. I really think it went for at least 6 months that I was still improving. And in a sense, I would say I'm still improving a little bit more too, just tiny bits. So I don't know. I think it definitely takes a long time to see how much you can really get from it.
Well, I would say I continued improving for about 18 months.
Yeah, I'm
just
not surprised to hear that. I feel like it's still happening.
But it's an amazing thing, isn't it? When you not been able to do things and you feel so much better, and how amazing, that your energy levels allow you to look after 3 small children. That in itself is amazing.
It is. And I was just losing. It was looking like I wasn't going to be able to do it. I was dropping out of all our activities. I was having to get a babysitter a whole lot more. It was becoming a real problem. And with 3 little ones, you want to be able to, to give them everything that they need.
What would you say to other people who are looking into taking LDN but are rather dubious? What would your advice to them be?
Well, and I am very into researching things. I was trained as a doctorate level clinical psychologist, actually, and I didn't go through and finish it all because I decided to stay home, but it's sort of my love. And if you look at it, it's just the beginning research. But if you look at it, there's so much study on this compared to anything else. It's so safe. It's got so few side effects. It's been studied at huge high levels compared to what we're actually taking at. And throughout pregnancy and throughout all these different things, it's just sort of stood the test of time. So there's no harm. You know, you take it and it might make you, maybe it would make you react like anything could if you're very sensitive. But that as an overall thing, it's so safe, and it's safer than almost all the drugs that are available. So I think it's one of those things you should just try, because if it works for you, it'll work like nothing else.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, Jenny. Really do appreciate it, and good luck with bringing up those children.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The LDN 2017 conference held in Portland, Oregon, 22nd to the 24th of September, was a huge success, and the feedback has been excellent. If you weren't able to join us, you can purchase the 3-day live stream recordings for just $80, or the 3 days plus 15.5 hours of recorded presentations, including all the PowerPoints, for $365. All recordings are available for 12 months. CE credits are available for NDs only. For full information, go to www.ldn2017.com.
So happy to be here. It's our second year here. The information gets better and better every year.
Yes, and we've found that the conference has been wonderful to be surrounded by these thought provokers, and we're taking information home that we could immediately implement on Monday.
It brings us into the future, into a very helpful therapy for Lyme disease and other infections, inflammation.
Such an incredibly diverse range of scientists from all different professions that are all focused on one thing, which is helping LDN help the maximum number of people possible.
Phenomenal doctors giving some tremendous speeches.
It's my first year at the LDN conference. It's fantastic, and we're definitely going to be back again next year.
Great conference, learned so much, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so far, day one, it's amazing. Number one, the networking, meeting people that are like-minded and really wanting to learn.
So it's extremely interesting and clinically useful that you can get down to using LDN and other immune modulating treatments for so many illnesses. And I guarantee it will be clinically useful in your practice.
It's exciting to be here, interacting with people like-minded, open-minded, and what I call big brains. So they are fun to deal with.
What I found really interesting about the conference is the interest in the actual scientific principles of some of the conditions which respond to low-dose naltrexone.
So there's some people here who are just incredible in their field, helping with pain, autoimmunity, and they've personally helped me a lot. So that's why I'm excited to be here.
I feel that this conference has given me confidence in writing more, the LDN, with more guidance from thought leaders.
And I flew all the way out to Portland to come to this LDN conference, and it has just been great.
And so it's just really fun to be around peers and colleagues and patients doing it.
The LDN 2017 conference held in Portland, Oregon, 22nd to the 24th of September, was a huge success, and the feedback has been excellent. If you weren't able to join us, you can purchase the 3-day live stream recordings for just $80, or the 3 days plus 15.5 hours of recorded presentations, including all the PowerPoints, for $365. All recordings are available for 12 months. CE credits are available for NDs only. For full information, go to www.ldn2017.com.
Any questions or comments you may have, please email me, Linda, Linda, at ldnrt.org. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciated your company. Until next time, stay safe and keep well.